If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
And a big welcome to Open Mic America. I'm Capo Dave, I'm your host tonight, and I'm joined with Laura Bordowitz is our show engineer, and Mike Simpson's gonna do the interviewing. It's our mission, the reason Open Mic America exists, is to support the local open mics of this country. We think that open mics and people that play at them are a force for good in this country, and anything we can do to help that, that's what this is about. And these players, these performers, these are people who've come up through open mics. Many of them are semi-professional now, and these are what you would call the big league players from the old open mic leagues, and we're proud to present them. These are the more accomplished folks. And they had to audition to get on this show. Everybody on this show doesn't just show up at the door and get in. These folks are really good. They've earned their spurs here. So, and without gimmicks or frills, this is the beating heart of American music. And if it's not, it'll do until the other one gets here. I'm waiting. So without further ado, I'm gonna introduce our musicians, performers tonight. Stephen Paul Medeiros, if you'll wave, from Madera, California. Stephen, good to see you. Oh, that's last week's show. Wait a minute. Well, okay. Mark Rogers from Williamsburg, Virginia. Hi, Mark. Good grief. Stephen Schmidt from Rochester, Minnesota. Yeah. Bruce Landy from Beach Mountain, North Carolina. Hey, Bruce. Andy Karn, my buddy, from Mountain View, California. Jack Ulrich from Haverhill. I said it right, didn't I? Haverhill. Yeah. I'm from back east. Michael Arthur, our good friend Michael Arthur, he always brings it, and he will bring it tonight, I guarantee you. Hank Stone from Patchogue, did I get it right? Patchogue, New York. And the new metal class from Yorktown Heights, New York. That's Barbara and Mike Borak. So let's kick it off. Mark Rogers is first. Are you ready, Mark?
I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Let's go. We hear you.
And all these years I've waited, there's a chance I might be staying at least another night or two. And if you noticed lately, there are things that I'm not saying. It doesn't mean a thing to you. It's only something in your eye. There's no reason to wonder why. But I know part of me wants to be going. And I know 70 days couldn't break your heart or make you tend to. And if it means it's over and the crowd exits politely and the monitor fades to blue, it's only something in your eye. There's no reason to wonder why. But I know part of me wants to be going back. I know 70 days couldn't break your heart or make your dreams come true. All night, all night, all night. That's when time moves slowly.
Yeah, wonderful.
Nice.
All right, do I go to the second song?
You might want to check your original sound first.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, good.
Okay. You wanna roll into midnight. You wanna feel it again. You wanna see if the wheels have the rubber to spin. I got the word you were coming. I even turned on the light. I sat and waited alone for the rest of the night. What can you do when you know that it's gone, taking its things and traveling on to who knows where and beyond? What do you do now that it's over and done? You used to laugh at the notion of ever having to choose. You never seemed to believe there could be something to lose. I got up early this morning. I put the pot on the flame. Could have sworn it was you who's calling my name. What can you do when you know that it's gone, taking its things and traveling on to who knows where and beyond? What do you do now that it's over and done? Hey baby, let's dance tonight. There's some dew on these wings and a light on your hair. could give me just a minute, I'll be right there. You wanna roll in the midnight, I wanna feel it again. I wanna see if the wheels have the rubber to spin.
Yeah, very nice, Mark.
Nice melodic stuff.
Alrighty. Here I am. First interview, Mark Rogers. You, my
Mike.
friend, I notice play all over the place, like England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played in Liverpool on June 18th last year, which was Paul McCartney's 80th birthday. Now, of course, he wasn't there, but it was kind of cool, being there on that day.
Right. Very, very nice, I'm sure. Hey, so one of the things, just fair warning to everybody coming up to, I do a little research on you guys, to help interview content. You were compared with Marshall Crenshaw, and I get it. I really do get it. You have that same thing where you address a wide variety of genres, but you address them inside your own forms. But one of them that was referenced to, I don't know. I haven't heard of Cosmic Americana before. How would you typify that?
Cosmic Americana, well, Cosmic American was a term that Graham Parsons coined back in the late 60s. He was a member of the Byrds and then of the Flying Burrito Brothers, and is generally considered the father of alt country. And he described his music as Cosmic American. So I just put Cosmic Americana.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, well, ain't we all? I get that. That makes sense. Thank you very much. So, when you're writing, do you think first in terms of genre, or do you think first in terms of melody, lyric? What, or does that vary for you?
I think it kind of depends on where my guitar riff is taking me.
Yeah.
If I'm, just playing some cowboy chords, then I'll come up with a melody that will reflect that. If I'm playing more jazzy chords, which I love to do, that brings me in unexpected melody territory where things can go into all sorts of directions. And so it's usually the guitar and the chords that drive my writing.
Well, I really particularly saw that in the second song, where the various gestures you're making, where you're breaking and reforming the chords as you slide up the neck and stuff, really both defined and supported the melody very beautifully.
Thank you.
It's lovely stuff. Mark Rogers. Does anybody call you Mr. Rogers? Probably not.
No, I hear it every day.
I imagine you do. Okay. Well, you won't hear it from me except that way. Thank you very much. You've been here before on Open Mic America, and my hope is that I will see you here again. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very
And
much.
I'm going to have you hand this back to Dave.
Excellent.
That was wonderful, Mark. Wonderful. Absolutely. Wow. Wonderful. Next up is Stephen J. Schmidt from Rochester, Minnesota. Where are you, Stephen?
Right here.
There he is, right there. Okay. And he likes to play at the LTS Brewing Company. That's one of them. And Forager Brewing. And is that in Rochester? Right in Rochester?
Both those venues are in Rochester, Minnesota.
All right. Well, shout out to those places. Come on down and see Stephen Schmidt down there. Tonight he's at Open Mic America. Take it away, Stephen.
Thank you very much, everyone. This first song that I'd like to do this evening is entitled The Witch of the Reeds. and I were young pups, we'd go down to the river to skip rocks from the shore. But now trouble weighs heavy, though she took away my torment, and I don't leave the coulee anymore. She calls you down, beckons you down. The witch of the reed, she calls you down, beckons you down to wash away your misdeeds. While Hap and I were soldiers, we fought as brothers. I had his 6 and he had mine, but he became broken, vicious and angry, wielding his weapon so unkind. She calls you down, beckons you down. The witch of the reed, she calls you down, beckons you down to wash away your misdeeds. Back home and drunk down by the river, 'cause he murdered all those babies, the witch summoned Hap to the pier. She didn't try to heal him, she just took him under. Watching him drown filled me with fear. She calls you down, beckons you down. The witch of the reed, she calls you down, beckons you down to wash away your misdeeds. The witch appeared to me through the murk while I was mooring, and begged of me, please give me this day. Drawn to her beauty, she embraced me and cured me. I surfaced through the reeds at Bluegill Bay. She calls you down, beckons you down. The witch of the reed, she calls you down, beckons you down to wash away your misdeeds. She comes to me and whispers, murmurs why she saved me, why she took away my pain. But I also hear Hap wailing, she's still towing him under. I'll never leave the coulee again. She calls you down, beckons you down. The witch of the reed, she calls you down, beckons you down to wash away your misdeeds. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to change guitars here quickly, and The second song I'm going to do this evening is from my album The Road. This tune is called Mama, Mama. Mama, Mama, this is your son. Mama, Mama, let me tell you what I've done. I've started working Grandpa's land. I've started farming with my own two hands. Mama, Mama, let me tell you what I found. Mama, Mama, from working this plot of ground, I've found my sunny days and a natural high that never goes away. Out in the distance, a song you will hear. My voice rings soft, but it's strong and clear. Riding the wind is the glorious sound of joy. My heart must resound. Mama, Mama, there's a twinkle in my eye. Mama, Mama, let me tell you the reason why. I've learned what it means to be free. I've learned what it means to be me. Mama, Mama, this is your son. Mama, Mama, let me tell you what I've done. I've started working Grandpa's land. I've started farming with my own two hands.
Very nice.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
All right. Very well done. Very well done. We're gonna give you your interviewing here now. I noted a couple of things as I looked around to see things, and one of them was someone mentioned the finger picking and novel chord voicings. Did you use any alternate tunings today? I don't think so.
No, not today. No,
You were
no,
straight
no,
up, but
straight up.
you move around the neck a lot, and I have this. You use the term organic in one place in your online presence, and what it strikes me, given the list you have of the people that were your influences, that by organic, part of what you mean is you listen and then you steal, but you steal into, again, into your music. You don't just imitate. You take the good out of things and put it in. And I really felt that in both of those songs. What do you think? Am I correct in that?
I think so. The number of artists that I worked with on my day job as a presenter, and the artists that I've had the opportunity to be in song circles with and swap songs with, certainly their work has influenced my own. But I like to make sure that what I'm doing is paying homage to these artists, but that these things are my own.
Yeah, yeah, that's a sense I have too. The other thing that I noticed with both these songs and a couple that I listened to online, your songs, I would use the phrase close to home. You know, they come close to home and definitely from your heart, which is, you know, what we're all after doing. And I think it's interesting that with these two songs, that remained true, even though there were the strong mythic or mythopoeic elements, you know, in that first song, you know, witches and healings and things like that in it. And then the second song, of course, really close to home, you know, farming your own land, you know, kind of thing. How do you keep that intent and do the work of making that true in songs so disparate?
Well, as long as the songs do come from the heart and that they're authentic stories that I've made up or messages that I want to convey, I don't think I'm on thin ice with any of that. Some of the songs that I write are intensely personal, and I like to share those with the world so that they get a sense of the range of emotions that I feel and try to convey.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I really enjoyed both songs, and I really always enjoy when somebody is able to you know, straddle different genres and different intents. It was very nice. You have been here before, yes? Or
No, this is my
your first time?
time.
Well, welcome home, Stephen. OMA is glad to have you. I'm glad to hear you, and I hope I will hear you again as soon as can possibly be arranged. Thank you very much.
I hope you'll have me back. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. All right, back to our host. Dave, you're muted.
I have to change my view. Wonderful, wonderful, Stephen, and gorgeous playing. Good grief. Wow. Killing me here. Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks so much. Next up, Bruce Landy from Holden Beach, North Carolina. Where are you, Bruce? There he is. There, I see him there. He likes to play senior events, and in particular the Oak Island Rec Center, so shout out to them. I hope some of them are tuned in tonight to see their guy. And folks locally ought to get over there and see him play. So thanks for coming out tonight, Bruce. It's all you now.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me. My wife and I wrote this song, and it starts out kind of sad, but there's a happy ending, so stay with me. Our song begins in small town America. Listen now closely as the story unfolds. I was a hero on all of my sports teams. She was a dream girl with soft southern charm. She spread her wings and moved to the city. My dreams were shattered, I was going nowhere. I found my soulmate outside of Syracuse. We pledged our love, till death do we part. She met her true love, moved to Milwaukee. They loved their life and the joy that it brought. Just when everything seemed so right, death came along like a shadow in the night. First it was parents, lost to the darkness, then others we loved, they too passed away. She lost her husband, I lost my wife. Until you have been there, you cannot understand. the depth of the sorrow, the pain and the grief, the dark night of the soul. There is no relief. The days fill with silence. You're lost and alone. The love of your life now suddenly gone. Up from the darkness and into the light, we each found the strength to leave that dark night. PL hosted a party with love, hope, and trust. Magic beans were a-bubbling and the table was set. The burgers were a-sizzling and the onions were strong. Everyone enjoyed the laughter and song. Yeah, the burgers were a-sizzling and the onions were strong. We all joined in the laughter and song. Now none of us knows how our story will end. This one's not over, we found love again. This is one of the first songs I wrote a long time ago. I grew up back in the 60s when every little town had a high school basketball team. Even in a down year, the whole town would turn out to cheer on the local boys. In a really good year, next week games was all anybody talked about up and down Main Street. It was dark March Madness for 3 months in those little towns. I wrote this song about the magic of growing up in a small town, playing high school basketball. When we were kids, we had a dream about how we'd make the high school team. Everyone would know our names, and we would win all of our games. We practiced hard every day and night. Driveway ball 'neath the pale street light. Our minds were set, our goal was clear. We're gonna win it all this year. It was me and Larry, the twins and Paul. If we played with heart, we would win it all. Yeah, me and Larry, the twins and Paul. Small town high school basketball. The ball went up for the center tap. That night we closed a generation gap. There were kids and parents, all the old folks too. Everyone in town, you know, was at the school. It was me and Larry, the twins and Paul. We played with heart and we won it all. Yeah, me and Larry, the twins and Paul. Small town high school basketball. We all grew up and we moved away. Now pickup games are all we play, but there's boys and girls all across this land. They're playing ball and they understand. It was me and Larry, the twins and Paul. We played with heart and we won it all. Yeah, me and Larry, the twins and Paul. Small town high school basketball.
All right. Bruce Landy. You know, when I looked up stuff online for you, the very first line that I saw in anything, it said busker, singer, songwriter. And you talked a lot about how you play a lot of covers. Well, of course, you can't do that here. I also understand, I love playing covers too. What makes you write? Since you could obviously, from what I saw, do a rich, performance with no originals whatsoever. What makes you write and play your own stuff?
So I can get on Open Mic America.
All right.
I don't have a great arsenal of songs. I'm trying to put a few more together. I probably have a total of about 10, and since I was on last time, I've been working on a few others. So hopefully next time I'll have some new ones.
All right. Good. So one of the thematic things that I personally picked up upon right away is that you seem to like to write about movements from things like from dark to light and from success and challenge and that thing. But you seem very committed to using simple elements in the lyrics, and your notional elements, the things that you're thinking about, are pretty direct, pretty observable by anyone and stuff. How do you select what's going into the lyrics? Is that a rubric that you're following?
I pay a lot of attention to John Prine, and a lot of his songs are so simple it's scary, but they hit you right in the gut, and that's what I try to do. I come from the heart and come from the gut.
Well, you've picked in some ways a difficult person to emulate because he's, as you say, he's so very good at it. But I have to say, John Prine was who I thought of halfway through your first song, so I think you're getting there.
Thank
All
you.
right, and I understand that you still live in a small town, like under 1,600 or so, something like that.
There's in the winter time there are 1,600 people on Holden Beach, and in the vacation summertime there are 16,000. So
I
in
see.
the wintertime
One of
we
those.
just kind of hang
All
out.
right. All right. How do you find life different there? Is there any inspiration for you to write us a song from 1,600 to 16,000?
That's a good thought. Well, actually, the last time I was on, I did a song about the cottage by the sea, and there was a line in there that talked about things slow down and the tourists all go home, and that's when us locals really like it.
Yeah, I remember.
They pay the rent, but it's nice to be here when there's not a lot of people around.
That's right. That's the prize. Well, our prize is having you back and hearing you again. It's very nice to hear your music. It's good to see you. Yeah, I understand that you said that you play for senior events and centers and things like that. It's good to see a young fellow like you doing that. And I hope we'll have you back here again. And I am very glad to hear your songs any chance I get.
Thank you, Mike. Good to
Dave,
see you
it's
again.
all back to you.
That was great, Bruce. That basketball song sure took me back. I went to a small high school, and basketball was the whole world.
Cool.
It was just the whole world. Thanks so much. Next up is Andy Karn from Mountain View, California. How you doing, Andy? You ready?
Just great.
Okay.
All right, well, the first song I want to do is called Derriere. I leave one stuffy barroom and to the other one I lurch. There's one on every corner, even if it has a church. The floor tiles smell like sauerkraut. The stools smell like Gruyere. You know you're in Wisconsin when you smell our derriere. Down at the die-cast factory with Schultze, Kyle, and them, we'll really go out with a bang if Lefty clips that stem. A flying shot burns through my jeans like it does through every pair. Smells a lot like failure if you smell my derriere. Now I'm on my side in that farmer's ditch where we cross on 32. I swear she threw the left side track right off my old ski-doo. I ain't so drunk that I can't smell manure in my hair. So when they come to get me, they will smell our derriere.
Tasteful.
All right, well, the next one I'm going to play is what to pick. It's a little polka I wrote called Once for Every Mile. I crossed the mountain past my bride, desert dry and the valley wide, to seek a decent wage so I could bring it home to you. Now I'm running down my health, eating dinner by myself, feeling all alone and hoping you're not lonely too. My love for you, it blinds me like the noontime desert scene. And you know I will return one day to take you by the hand. I look for you, my darling, in every stranger's smile. Until I come back home, I'll miss you once for every mile. This world ain't on the level, gotta shake hands with the devil to get a little piece of all the money going round. And a drop of blood from slaughter, as good as any water, spilled out here in the desert on the hard and thirsty ground. My love for you, it blinds me like the noontime desert sand. And you know I will return one day to take you by the hand. I look for you, my darling, in every stranger's smile. Until I come back home, I'll miss you once for every mile. Now the desert sun is setting, and soon I'll be forgetting, with the comfort of a bottle and a flicker of blue light. But before the sun lies down to die, I'll call to you across the sky to hear your sweet lips say to me that everything's alright. My love for you, it blinds me like the noontime desert sand. And you know I will return one day to take you by the hand. I look for you, my darling, in every stranger's smile. Until I come back home, I'll miss you once for every mile.
All right. Andy Karn. Very nice stuff, man.
Thank you.
I suppose I should do full disclosure here. Andy and I are not only know each other, but we actually play together. So I am asking questions that I may, in some sense, somewhat know the answers to, but I'm quite serious about wanting to hear what he has to say about them. I hear in these two songs the writing of someone who is an observer of himself and observer of events around himself and an observer of the world around himself. So what do you do when you're writing, Andy, to bring your observations into lyrical and musical form?
Well, it's really hard to say what happens when I'm writing lyrics. I mean, it's you know, I think of an idea, and then I usually have a meter and a chord, you know, and so what I'm trying to do is match the meter, you know, just sort of technically. In terms of just the story, there's a story. I tend to have the story in mind before I actually write that much. Or I might just have a chorus I like, and then I think, well, there's no way I can write that song until I have a story to tell, you know, that has that chorus, you know what I mean? Which I've done before. There was a song I wrote, like a chorus, you know, like 2 years before I finished the song, because I just didn't know, like, okay, well, that's interesting, but what's the story? You know, who knows? And I didn't know then, but then I finally figured something out for that. The first song I played today, while probably setting the low bar for taste on this program, was actually requested by Alice Osborne the last time I was on. So
Yeah.
that was fulfilling a request. I wouldn't normally drag us down to that level.
Okay, so we're gonna blame Alice for that.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
We are. Okay, good.
That song, by the way, that song was inspired by the kind of songs that you hear being written about Texas by you know, like the Austin songwriters. And I thought, well, Texas, you know, they have all those songwriters down there. That's for sure. In Wisconsin, where I come from, doesn't have all that stuff. But I mean, we got cows. We got a lot of cows. You know, and there's boys taking care of the cows, so we got cowboys, so that's not a problem. So why don't we have the same, you know, why don't we have the same number of songs? Well, we don't, so somebody's going to have to address that problem, and I guess it's going to have to be me.
Yeah, I guess that's you. All right. You have a powerful attraction, obviously, to country blue kind of stuff. Where does that come from? Is that just out of your childhood or what?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up listening to the radio in the '60s, and what I didn't know was that the thing that made it interesting in the background was the blues influence always. And you know, I remember being completely knocked down by hearing "Will It Go Round in Circles" by Billy Preston, and I'm like, "What's this music, and why have they been hiding it from me?" you know. And you know, the same thing when I heard Muddy Waters. You know, when I heard Robert Johnson, I thought, "Oh, this is what all those English bands are trying to sound like with varying degrees of success."
All right.
So
Yeah. So you
that's
got
it.
a a definite, I would even say definitive, picking style, particularly in your leads. Who are your admired guitar players? Who do you admire as pickers?
Oh man, that's hard. I mean, you know, Don Rich. You know, could be. I don't know. Maybe probably Paul Simon. Mike Bloomfield. You know, why not?
Right. Right.
A lot of those great blues musicians. I still can't do that kind of stuff. I mean, Mississippi John Hurt. You know.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, Andy Karn, always a pleasure to hear you play, and I'm sure everybody here agrees with that. And we will no doubt see you again on Open Mic America.
That would be great.
That'll be lovely.
Thanks, Mike.
And thank you for coming, and we'll turn this back over to Dave now.
Thanks so much, Andy. Great songs, great songs. You always bring it. Great stuff. Okay, next up is Jack. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Andy, the shout out to the UUs, the Unitarian Church there in San Jose, has a nice a musicians open mic. You know, no clinking glasses and drunks and stuff. Really a good open mic going on. So Andy wanted to shout out. We need to shout out for them. Okay, so next up is Jack Ulrich from Haverhill, Massachusetts, and I didn't get where you played, but it doesn't matter. Where do you enjoy playing locally, Jack? Shout out. You're muted, I think. You're muted.
Jack, you're muted.
Mostly North Reading Community Coffee House.
Very good, very good. Okay, let's
Mic of my own, but I haven't done it for a while, so
uh-huh.
it's at East Parish Meeting House, and it's in Haverhill.
Very good. Okay, it's all you. There you go. You're up.
Okay, this song's called "More Friendly." I wrote it with a dear friend, Pat Henry. He's going to be on your show in a few weeks. We wrote it quite a while ago together, actually, and years later it just always seems to ring a bell. In fact, right now, looking at the present day situation in the world, I'd say it very appropriate. Times are coming, when we're gonna need our fellow man. Times are coming, when we're gonna need and when we're gonna give a helping hand. When was the last time you extended your hand to a man you didn't know? Don't you think that people ought to be more friendly? Times are coming when we're gonna need a fellow man. Times are coming, when we're gonna need our fellow man. Times are coming, when we're gonna need and when we're gonna give a helping hand. Come on in, friend, make yourself yourself at home. Take your shoes off, you don't have to roam. Sit yourself over here in front of the fire. Just relax and soak up some heat, and I'll go get you something to eat. There's an extra bed in the back room if you're tired. Times are coming, when we're gonna need our fellow man. Times are coming, when we're gonna need and when we're gonna give a helping hand. Stem the tide, put up a dike, deal with the things we all need to understand. If we don't, we just might find we've left far behind a peaceful world we all could have seen. Come on in, friend, make yourself at home. Take your shoes off, you don't have to roam. Sit yourself over here in front of the fire. Just relax, soak up some heat, and I'll go get you something to eat. There's an extra bed in the back room if you're tired. Times are coming, when we're gonna need our fellow man. Times are coming, when we're gonna need and when we're gonna give a helping hand. Next song I'm going to sing for you, it's called One More Chance. And it's funny, but when I knew I was going to be playing for you guys again, this song I don't sing very often for anybody. But it's funny, when I found out I was going to sing for you guys again, this song just kind of, it's been on my heart ever since. So it's called One More Chance. And if you've ever been in a situation where you thought you were going to die, I went through that once. And I got real close. I was operated 3 times in one day for the same thing. And I was laying there in the operating room, having been in the operating room, it's a pretty serious operation, twice already. And they told me I had to go in again, and I couldn't even lift my head anymore. And I could hear the nurses in the background saying, "He's so gray," and it just, it scared me. So I didn't write this song right after, but I wrote it eventually, and again, it's called One More Chance. And I think I capo up too. If you were told you were gonna die today, would you get down on your knees, talk to God and say, "Please, Lord, give me one more chance to try to make my life pleasing to you"? I know that I've come short of the mark you set for me. It's taking this thing in my life to make me see. Would you promise him that you would strive to suffer long and be kind to those who aren't very kind to you? Would you envy not, vaunteth not, and swallow your pride, and say, please, Lord, give me one more chance to try? Would you think of others first before you think of you? Would you always try to let them have their way? And every evil thought that comes into your mind, would you promise God you'd think of him so it would go away? Please, Lord, give me one more chance to try to make my life pleasing to you. I know that I've come short of the mark you set for me. It's taking this thing in my life to make me see. You avoid with every breath you breathe iniquity, and rejoice the precious truth God has given thee. Would you bear your burdens, even pain, happily? Say, please, Lord, give me one more chance to try. Would you promise God that every day he gives to you, you think of him with every waking thought? When you wake each morning and go to bed each night, would you praise the Lord and thank him from your heart? Please, Lord, give me one more chance to try to make my life pleasing to you. I know that I've come short of the mark you set for me. It's taking this thing in my life to make me see.
Right, here we'll flip this to the two of us. Let you get your guitar down there, John. Do you prefer John or Jack?
Jack's my nickname, but
All right,
one
I'll stick with Jack. So out there in Haverhill, Massachusetts, I looked around for your digital footprint, and there's not much. I did find one interesting thing, although I couldn't find it again when I wanted to get the title down and stuff. It was a photograph that was posted on social media somewhere of an early song version of a song of yours that you wrote for your wife. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've written several for her.
But this one was like a handwritten on foolscap, you know, kind of a thing. Do you still play that song?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, because I remember I looked at it, I liked
Hard to
it.
play it without getting it.
Yes, having seen it, yes, I understand. Okay. All right, we won't ask you to play it right now. So your first and second songs, both of them, indicate to me that you are in the tradition that that our founder, Capo Dave, talks about as the true folk tradition. That is to say, people who are doing their best to make the world a better place with their songs. And you talked about the problems in the world. Can you give us some of your insights in terms of how songwriting and playing those songs, how do they help address the problems in the world?
Wow, that's a biggie. Well, I think people need to hear that stuff, you know. Um, I think I think our society, and it's been this way for years. I mean, our society is just superfluous, really, to what's going on, really, and they don't. I think we just go. Our lives are so complex. Now it takes husband and wife a lot of times to just keep have a home, just to have a home, have a decent car that runs, and raise your children, and especially if you have a family. So I know that life is hectic, and it gets very stressful, and work is very stressful on everybody. But for some reason, and I don't know if it's been more complicated by the fact that the internet is here and there's so much information available and stuff, it certainly is. It's made life easier in some aspects, but made it way more complicated for everybody too, And I just think that we don't have time to really to really think hard about the real issues, that are out here. Look what's happening in Canada right now. It's affecting the whole United States. That's not even our country. It's another country, But here in Massachusetts, there were days I could hardly breathe. And look at the people in New York City, and really all across the East, it's really bad. And they have the same thing that happens out in California and chokes everybody to death, out that way. But, this thing that's happening to the world, a lot of it's caused by us, is real, and issues. Look at what's happening, in Ukraine and places like that. I mean, do people really care? I think most people just go through their life. They don't donate to anything. They don't put forth any effort, to try to make things any better. That's why we wrote this song, Pat and I, about one. The first one I wrote, More Friendly. How many people, we were in a church one time. I don't want to go on too long, but we were in a church one time. This is supposed to be a church that loved people, they profess love. And these Mormons came into town. And they couldn't find a place to stay. And they came to our house, and I was a family with 4 kids. I had 4 kids at home, plus me and my wife. Our house was packed. I was thinking about telling them they could stay in our basement, but it's really, really dingy. It was all full. And I said, well, you should be able to go to our church. It's just about a mile from here. And just, talk to our pastor. I gave him his name and everything. And by golly, they went to the church and talked to our pastor. And he turned them away. And we had room that they could have stayed in the church. That really, it hit me in my heart. I thought, wow, what are people like? I was like, years ago, about the time I wrote this song, actually, the one More Friendly, I was out in the woods, and there was a little pond I used to stop at. Beautiful little pond, and it was, So I would stop there. I was taking some classes, and I was on my bicycle. I would stop there, and just look at the pond every day. So I decided to take a raft. I blew up a raft, and I was out there floating on the pond, And this guy walks out of the woods. Long hair, had a guitar though. I played the guitar. So I paddled over to the edge, and we started talking. And you know that guy, we hit it off as friends pretty quick, you know. And he ended up staying with me for several days, and we had a great time with him. I invited my other friends over, you know, to play guitar. We had parties, you know, stuff like that out on the back porch, and you know, then he went on his way, and
Good story. That
I've been kind of like that, you know, all my life. If somebody needs something, you know, I'll help them. You know, I'm just open, and I just think more people ought to be that way. What the hell?
well, your first song does a good job of suggesting those behaviors, and the second song does a good job of awakening sympathy in all of us for ourselves and other people that are in distress. Jack, it's great to hear your music. I'm a fan now, and I want to thank you very much for coming on here and singing those songs and telling us your story. All right, I'm going to send it back to Dave now.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jack, for your songs and your heartfelt comments. People do need to hear this stuff. We need to hear this stuff. So, thank you. Next up, Michael Arthur from York, Pennsylvania, and always glad to have Michael on the show. By the way, if you check out Michael's Facebook presence, I see all the time, he puts these killer covers out there. And he recently covered If You Could Read My Mind. And let me tell you, check it out. It's serious stuff. So anyway, without further ado, it's all you, Michael. Take it.
Thanks, Dave. This first song I'm going to play for you tonight is called Full Moon Light, and I wrote it to comfort a friend who needed it at the time. I find you in your dark night, covered in more shadow than shine. You say the broken moon above you is but a waning sliver of light, and these changes that you've lived through, the heartache near despair, sometimes they still cut through you like the chill of this night air. But you will shine again. You will shine again in full moonlight, in full moonlight. Your path has not been easy, not what you expected or deserved. Through silent years of torment, a still small voice unheard, like the phases of the moon, your fullness will return, brighter than before. Through the inner strength you've learned, you have learned, and you will shine again. You will shine phases of the moon, they don't really exist. The moon is always up there full. It's only our viewpoint that shadows it. So take what piece you're given on any given night. No, it's up to you to shine. You can shine as bright, just as bright as full moonlight. As full moonlight. As full moonlight. This next one called Slip Away. I think I'm going to call it Slip Away, but there's so many songs with that title. I was thinking about calling it The Losing Game, but so maybe we'll have your vote on that afterwards. But this is a song that I started to intentionally write as a love song, and along the way, as songs sometimes morph, it turned out to be a song about an Alzheimer's patient from the Alzheimer's patient's point of view. I think still a love song. Waking in this room alone, these four gray walls are not my home. I slip away, slip away. And all the things that come to pass this side of the looking glass, they slip away, slip away. Waiting for the clouds to part, let the sun shine down on me, a stranger in my own life, confused reality. Stories learned along the road, long forgotten, left untold, they slip away, slip away. And the last 5 minutes you've had with me, gone like ancient history, they slip away, slip away. Though I get afraid sometimes when I don't know my name. Though I get enraged sometimes in this losing game. Don't talk about me like I'm not in the room. I'm still right here. Though I may not recognize your face, I can still feel your tender touch. Your kind words are clear. Living in this moment now, It's all I got left somehow. Everything else slips away. But this moment here is all I ever really had. It's all that I need. With all distractions stripped away, even ones I hold most dear. When the light is all that's left, the light will shine so clear.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Michael Arthur, I'm going to ask you first a question that's purely from me. Not dropped a, you're an open D there? Well, E flat?
Open C.
Open C. Oh, okay.
Capo in one, so I guess open C sharp.
Yeah, so C, G, C, G, C, E?
Right.
Right, okay. Very nice, yeah. There's an open tuning, folks, that is worth playing with. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. So, I detect a strong sense of professionalism in your playing and your singing and your writing. You worked in the musical instrument and sound guy stuff for a long time. Is that right?
Yeah, my day job was I was a sales rep for a number of musical instrument and pro sound manufacturers. So I called on music stores in the West at first, in California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado. Then I moved back east, and most of my time was spent in the mid-Atlantic states where I live. So Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, sometimes New Jersey.
All right. Was that with Saga or?
No, no. I worked for Yamaha, PV, and Fender over the
Oh,
years.
okay. All right. Yeah, cool. Um, so now you're full-time songwriting and performing.
Yes.
How does was that a natural evolution for you on that? Did that?
Well, I mean, I always wrote songs. I shouldn't say I always wrote songs. I wrote songs when I was in college and afterwards when I was kind of busking and playing for a living back then. And then I got this day job, which really ate a lot of my time up and had a family. So I got back into serious songwriting and performing about 15 years ago.
Okay.
And so it's been kind of a natural transition, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you write in your digital footprint. I noticed a comment that some comments that basically added up to your reward is when someone comes up to you and tells you that the song has gone home to them, that they felt it and it's made them feel something and elevated themselves. What do you do when you're songwriting with that as a target? How do you hit that point? What techniques or mindsets go into doing that?
Well, really, that's not the target. I think you have to write songs from what you know and your personal perspective. And I think if you convey the emotion in that well enough, it will naturally touch some folks, and they'll let you know about it because they feel like you've written their song. But you can't start off with any kind of goal other than expressing what you know and yourself and the emotions that you're trying to convey, that you're feeling.
And you talked about the last song having that swerve that so many of them do in the middle about what the song ends up being about. Songs do slip away, just to steal your own line for you. And how do you approach the continuation of that once you realize it's swerved? Does it change anything about how you're dealing with the song?
Well, this song started out with entirely different lyrics, and I had a first verse and maybe half a chorus, and then it started to, for better lack of a better word, slip into this other form. And when I realized that I was getting more output out of that, I abandoned the first one and just went whole hog into embracing this new idea and finished the song with that. So, it switched gears on me and I just went with it.
All right. Well, that's kind of a good, life approach in general, isn't it?
I think so.
Roll with the punches.
Right.
And Michael Arthur, I've heard you before and enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it very much tonight. Again, I say this a lot, but I'm hoping I'll see you again here on Open Mic America. Thank you for your songs.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, Dave, you're up.
I think I'd know by now. Thanks so much, Michael, for your wonderful songs and the insights into your songwriting. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much. And next up, we have Hank Stone from East Patchogue, New York. I hope I said it right. Did I get it right?
You did.
Good. Okay, and he plays at the North Shore Original Open Mic in Huntington, New York on Wednesday nights. So, Hank, take it away.
Alrighty. This is a fairly new song. I don't think I know what I'm going to call it yet. So, anybody has any ideas, hit me up later on. It don't matter if your grass is green or blue. That Grim Reaper's still gonna come for you. Your time is up when your cup is empty in the valley of death or the land of plenty. And it don't matter if your grass is green or blue. It makes no difference you're a city or a country boy. One man's power tool is another man's toy. Can't recharge when your battery's dead. Put a hat on your head and jump for joy. Makes no difference you're a city or a country boy. And the rain falls down, pushing the water all the way to the sea. I try so hard to keep on the sunny side. She caught Katie, left me a mule to ride. And I dig so deep to sow my seeds and read it and weep while I reap my weeds. I try so hard to keep on the sunny side. Caught the Katy, left me a mule to ride. And I dig so deep to sow my seeds, read it and weep while I reap my weeds. I try so hard to keep on the sunny side. And I try so hard to keep on the sunny side.
Yeah, great stuff.
Next one is older. It does have a title. It's called Empty Colors. Kind of a short story. Empty colors of morning, reveal the sadness in my neighbor's eyes. Walked along a broken fence post. crowded meadow. Sweet patchouli everywhere. Art patterns played upon their eyelids as the meek inherited the earth. Emily, back home, tried to pick the thread up. This town never looked so dark before. One can't turn one's back on revelation. She joined her sister at her Arizona loom. Samuel grew weary at the gas pump. He dreamed of rock and roll out on the coast. But all he rolled were doobies by the dozen. Watch the smoke rings disappear like cream. The desert wind blows hot, ceaseless. Fire reclaims its primal place. Adobe serves as a temporary tombstone. Ashes lend her pigments gravitas. Samuel only knew tragedy from school books. Till Emily's sister's package arrived. Empty colors of the morning. Unsigned, he knew the artist's name. Empty colors of the morning. Unsigned, he knew the artist's name.
Yeah.
There we go. Hank Stone. Great stuff, man. Have you been on Open Mic America before?
Have been several times, yes.
Several times, yeah. I thought so. I think I've only seen you a couple of times, but yeah, I'm glad to see you here tonight. Thank you.
Glad to be here.
So you make a very strong statement on your website thing about how you feel about who you are as a songwriter and stuff. And so I looked at that and I wrote it all. I copied it all onto here, and I find it true. You're original. Your melodies are not cookie cutter in any sense. What I found interesting about the lyrics, a little more in the second song than the first, is that a lot of them, you know, like Temporary Tombstone and things like that, they're unexpected. You know, they kind of come at you from a different angle, which is a powerful way to songwrite. What goes into your building of a lyric for a song?
That's hard to say. I guess every song is a little different, you know. Like in the first one, there was a bunch of wordplay, and I've done that a lot, you know, just kind of. I used to do that when I was younger, you know, years and years ago, just to play with words, all kinds of puns, and they didn't really make any literal sense, which is okay, you know. But after a while, I said, you know, I want to go a little deeper, and so I've kind of come to the point where you can still play with the words, but have them have some meaning as telling a story or evoking a mood or something.
Yeah.
And,
Insightful stuff and it kind of, I find your lyrics pretty, like you say, engaging, and there's brain and heart are both involved in them. I really like the way you project your own stuff. I will say this, one of the things that the people I admire as guitar players all have this one thing, and you've got it too, man, is that whether they're finger picking or strumming, or even if they're in a fairly rigid style like bossa nova, or anything like that, everything that you do supports the rhythmic drive in the song, and you're quite brilliant at that. That really, I really appreciate that. How do you build up your guitar part? Do you start? Does the rhythm kind of lead out, and then chord and melodic support structure, does that follow, or is it the other way around?
again, I'd have to say it's different on every song. You know,
Okay.
sometimes I've got I'm just playing and I get a groove going, and I'll record it on the phone and just play it back a couple of times when I'm walking the dog, and hey, I should do something with that, and then I'll get a certain feeling from it, and then that'll suggest a few words, and that'll lead to the lyrics. Other times I'll have a prompt of something in my mind. Oh, I should write a song about that, and I'll write some lyrics down, couplets and things, and then I'll search for, well, how can I make the music support that? And I'll try to find something different than my usual 1-4-5.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Well, I do notice with those two songs and other stuff of yours that I looked at, you don't repeat yourself. Your songs each seem to have a pretty much original quality. I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate you coming on Open Mic America and playing for us. And just like I will say to, well, if I don't say it, then you know what I think. But I hope you'll be back, and that will be fun to see you again. And it was great to see you tonight. Thank you very much for gracing us. And handing it off here to Dave.
Thanks so much, Hank, for those wonderful songs. If you're ever taken into custody and accused of being a folk singer, I would plead guilty if I were you. but your songs are, as Mike says, they're original and they're fresh, and yeah, the thing about the rhythm and the guitar, the tempo, and the singing, it just tied right together very nicely. Really nice stuff. Okay, and now we're at the end of the show tonight. Now we've got Mike and Barb Borak performing as the New Middle Class. They're from Yorktown Heights, New York, and they play the Music Matters. Our friend Joe Isaacs has that long-running virtual show, terrific show, and I think he has a live show too. And they also play at the Bean Runner Cafe in Peekskill, New York, yes?
Mm-hmm. That's right, Bean Runner. Yep. Music Makers open mic. Yeah.
Music Makers or Music Matters?
Music Makers.
That's a different one. That's our friend Joe Isaacs has another wonderful show named Music. Sorry.
Vowels matter.
Everything matters. That's the problem. Okay, guys, it's all you. Take it away.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. They say that you can't always get what you want, but suppose you do. Suppose you could. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Now that I have you, I don't want you. Now that you love me, I don't care. They say your mistakes always come back to haunt you. And now that I have you, I don't want you. Now that you kissed me, I'm not satisfied. Now that you're with me, I think about other guys. Now that you talk to me, I see that it's true. You're louder than me, but I'm smarter than you. Now that I know you, not so admirable. Now that you need me, you're not so desirable. Now that my friends have all seen me with you, I'd really rather be with someone new. On the night we met, I did my best to impress you. Now I might regret my desire to possess you. 'Cause now that I have you, I don't want you. Now that you love me, I don't care. They say your mistakes always come back to haunt you. And now that I have you, I don't want you. Now that I have you, I don't want you. Now this disappointment is the reward for my persistence. How I wish I had ignored the allure of your indifference. You were just my type, muscular and unshaven. You were cool at first, but eventually you gave in. And now that I have you, I don't want you. Now that you love me, I don't care. They say your mistakes disappoint you and daunt you. They say your mistakes will torment you and taunt you. They say your mistakes always come back to haunt you. And now that I have you, I don't want you.
We're going to do a story song, I guess. And this story is about two women. It takes place late on a dark and stormy night.
I thought I was the only woman here tonight. Now there's more.
I'm so sorry to just drop in like this. Do you mind if I spend the night? You see, me and Eddie were at it again. We had one hell of a fight. There was cursing and crying and sharp objects flying and kids hiding under the covers. The older ones screaming at Eddie and me to stop yelling at each other. And I'm lucky to have a friend like you, who I can turn to and talk to, who opens the door and lets me come in out of the rain. Well, I hate to come knocking so late at night, but I can't think of where else to go. They roll up the sidewalks at 10, and besides, I would rather not run into someone I know. And I know I said things that I didn't mean. Well, maybe I meant them, and maybe they're true. I was trying to hurt him just like he hurt me. We don't get along as good as Roger and you. And I'm lucky to have a friend like you, who I can turn to and talk to, who opens the door and lets me come in out of the rain. And it feels so good to sit here by your fire while the cold wind's blowing outside. Just you and me drinking coffee and tea, and your house is so quiet. Your house is so quiet. No, never mind, I can tell by your face. This might not be such a good time. You seem distracted, your makeup is smeared. It looks like you might have been crying. So thanks for the coffee, now it's getting late. Guess I'll head back out into the rain. Maybe drive around town for an hour or two, then go home and make up with Eddie again. And I'm lucky to have a friend like him, who I can return to and talk to. And you can come over whenever you need to come out of the rain.
Yeah, beautiful. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Nice song.
Okay, let's see if we can. I'm not seeing the spotlight here. I don't know what Laura's doing. I'm gonna remove the spotlight, then I'm going to put you guys, replace the spotlight, and then I'm gonna take myself and add the spotlight. There we go.
Technical stuff.
Technical stuff. Well, not.
Okay.
Was truly technical, I wouldn't be able to do it. But let me just say, I had just this impression when you did the first song, and it was only amplified by the second song. Y'all are just slick. I mean, you're just. There is that thing that happens in the best duets, where you can just feel the connection and the anticipation and all that kind of thing. So, as is so often true of me when I'm talking to y'all folks, I'm curious. Can you break down for us who does what? Now, include not only just lyrics, melody, instrumentation and stuff, but the little gestures, the stops, the things that were in that first song and in the second song. How do those come about? How are those built?
Aside from rehearsing, you mean?
Well, no, you can do them because you rehearse them, but at some point they had to be conceptualized, and that's what I'm asking about.
Wow. Well, I mean, Mike is a songwriter. I'm an interpreter. So a lot of things he feels when he writes a song, a lot of that stuff is there, but when I mean, that song, I've been singing it for a number of years, and it's changed over the years, and it's just from singing it and getting into the character and getting into the feeling of the song, and I think these things happen organically. They just we play them over and over, and they grow with us.
But when we're performing them, you do have put your finger on it, because we listen really closely to each other.
Yeah.
She's listening to my guitar, the tempo, the level, and when we're singing together, that sometimes happens.
Did you rehearse that?
No. So
All
yeah,
right.
after doing this together for a long time, it really becomes organic.
Yeah.
We're really bouncing off of one another when we're performing.
Yeah, I mean, we're really in tune with each other when we play together, and we just really listening. I'm not even aware of it.
Yeah,
Mike, but I know.
we're in the same space together.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Well, we can all duets can now aspire to that. So you write stuff that largely, I think it largely moves toward story song. Most of what I've heard from you, it has a pretty strong, push that way. What I liked about the last one in particular, when you're writing a short story in particular, if we think about, what's his name who wrote this story about the wooden Indian and the combs and the,
Oh, Henry.
yeah, O. Henry. Think about O. Henry. O. Henry's major tool is the twist. And that last song, that's a brilliant twist. I really enjoyed that. And in a lot of your stuff, even the one about Loch Ness, it has a lot of twists on the various characters. I'm still hoping we'll hear that sometime here. So, personal stories, you work in the social commentary. You're just slick. What can I say? Now, I saw this phrase on your thing, and I just have to ask. It says, they felt the gravitational pull of singer-songwriter stardom. So I'm gonna ask, how's that going?
We're here.
Yeah, there you are. You've made it. You're on Open Mic America. Okay, thank you. Always love to hear you. And folks, I'm going to give a strong recommendation to go ahead and get their albums and stuff. There's nothing they do that ain't good. So thank you for playing with us. It's always a pleasure to have you. I'm sure we'll see you again.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
we should mention that our website is newmiddleclass.com, and we have lots of videos on there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And check out the one called Loch Ness Cafe. If you don't laugh at that, you're dead. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
Dave, I'm handing it back over to you. Dave, you're muted. Capo Dave, you're muted, buddy. Okay.
Gravitational pull. That's one to ponder right there.
Yeah, I was quoting them. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Anyway, let me switch back to gallery view. I'm more comfortable in gallery view. Well, that was terrific, guys. Yeah, I want. What was that one, Mike, that I needed to check out of theirs?
I think he was
Called the
mentioning
Loch Ness
The
Cafe.
Loch Ness Cafe.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
the song and the
gonna check
video.
that out. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our evening. It's been terrific. I want to thank our musicians, our singer-songwriters, one at a time. If you guys will just give a little wave, we'll Mark Rogers and Stephen Schmidt and Bruce Landy and Andy Karn and Jack Ulrich and Michael Arthur and Hank Stone and Barbara and Mike Borak, the new middle class. You guys were great, and big thanks to our engineer, Laura Bertowitz, and Mike Simpson for doing a terrific job interviewing. I'm Capo Dave and proud to present this show.
And I always like when Capo Dave is hosting to get to the part that he won't read, which is we want to thank Capo Dave, who is the founder, not just the host tonight, but he's the founder of Open Mic America. This is his dream, and he's worked hard to make it happen.
Thanks, thank you, Mike. Thank you. And folks out there and performers as well, remember to check our website, Open Mic America. If you go to the Performers tab, you'll find that you can access every single person that's ever played on Open Mic America, and you can get the library of the shows that they were in. Those complete shows are of record. If you like the show, spread the word. You can print posters from our website. There are T-shirts available. We don't sell them, but it's a vendor, and they're there we go. Stephen has one of our T-shirts. They're good T-shirts, and check out. Okay, yeah, this is important. The reason I harvest those links to the local open mics is we publish those on our website. We have a local open mic section, and it is quite a list now of civilians can go there and find you guys. So, and we are here the first 3 Sundays of every month, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And you can always go on Open Mic America and you'll see the lineup. I'll be publishing it tomorrow of the next show. Next show, we got kind of a special show. We're having the giveaway of the little gypsy guitar. People that play on Open Mic all get a chance to win the guitar. Every time they appear on Open Mic America, they get another chance. So that's going to be chanced off next week. So somebody's going to win that guitar. And I guess that's about it, Laura. If you want to get ready and roll the credits, I'm going to say the last word here, and I need to mute myself and then turn my camera off. And we're going to all wave now, and we're going to say, good night, America.
Good night, America.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.